So let's get moving. Join the Parkinson's Foundation to learn more and register for an event in your area at movingdaywalk.org. That's movingdaywalk.org.
1450 WOL, Washington, D.C. 95.9 W240DJ, WMMJ HD3, WDCJ-FM HD3, and worldwide at WOLDCnews.com.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
The topics, views, and opinions expressed on the air and via All Igniting Change with Barbara Arnwine, platforms by host Barbara Arnwine Esquire, guests, and supporters are their own and are independent of any organization, entity. Nothing said on the show or any of its platforms constitutes a client-attorney relationship or serves as legal advice counsel. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to Igniting Change, its platforms, or the show's host.
The following program is paid for by Barbara Arnwine.
It's time now for Igniting Change, a weekly provocative and empowering program where you, the listener, can ignite change. Now here's your host, Barbara Arnwine.
Get up, stand up.
Good afternoon. Welcome everybody to Igniting Change. Oh, we're so excited for our show today. There's so much going on. There's so much to talk about. And there's so much that you and all of us can do together to make a difference in this time. So we are delighted that you have tuned into the show. To my East Coast people, good afternoon. To the mighty West Coast, good morning. To all the country, we're just so happy you're here because we are about to ignite some real change. Get ready for July 17th. We're coming at you all over the country. We're going to talk about it today. I got to bring up my mighty co-host, none other than the leader of the board of the Transformative Justice Coalition, the mightiest lawyer that you can find, one of the boldest strategists. You know who I'm talking about, none other than Attorney Daryl D. Jones. Hey, Daryl.
Hey, Barbara, it must be Tuesday. It must be noon Eastern Standard Time because we're talking about igniting change. And, Barbara, my goodness, so much has happened from last week to this week. Sometimes you just got to stop for a moment and just say thank you. You got to stop for a moment and just hug your loved one. Just got to stop for a moment and appreciate the life that you're in and the life that you're living at this point in time, Barbara.
I mean, and I am just on fire for the John Lewis, July 17th. I hope, people, that you got it marked on your calendars. I hope that you're planning to be at one of the many events that are being held. Folks, we are close to certifying over 1,200 events, and they're still pouring in for all over the country. Every single state has an event, and the beautiful news is that we also have a couple of foreign nations are also holding protests in honor of John Lewis. Oh, it's good trouble time, people. It's time to make good trouble. So, Daryl, as we start today's show, we got some amazing guests. But before we get to those guests, I wanted to just give a shout out of appreciation, love, and encouragement to all of the people who, despite whatever evil this administration tries to do to us, are still protesting, are still making their voices heard, and your voices are making a difference. I just wanted to say a thanks to everybody who protested the Veteran Affairs decision that they had reached to get rid of 83,000, you heard me, 83,000 employees when we know our veterans are suffering and need as much service as they can get. Thank you for protesting because they reversed that decision. No more of that, getting rid of and firing those 83,000 people. Thank you, people of America, for raising your voices. I also want to, Daryl, don't we want to say something to Karen Bass and those poor children in Los Angeles about that military exercise that was held in the middle of a park where children were playing with these soldiers walking with guns through the park in formation and armed vehicles and horses and other things. How horrid. How horrible. Thank you, Mayor Bass, for speaking out on that. Everybody, this is just a reminder that the military has no business being in the streets of our cities. I'm sorry for those children and the trauma it caused them. Fortunately, nobody was injured, but my goodness, the danger was just so much there. Daryl, what do you think about that?
Well, Barbara, I think that you pretty much said it all, that, there's a time when the military should be used, and it shouldn't be the time that's going on, what's happening right now in California. They don't belong in the neighborhoods. They don't belong in policing capacities within our country, and that's the problem that leads to the bigger problem, the bigger concern that rolls out from this, Barbara, is that while it may have seemed of just a limited place where this happened, those children that were impacted by this, that will be in their psyche forever, and they've got to deal with that. And, and it's just one of those things, just a complete example of why we don't want and don't need the military doing exercises in public parks. Absolutely not, Barbara.
And people understand what we're saying. This was an elective. They chose to do this exercise. They weren't responding to any danger at all. There was just nothing. They just decided they were going to take over a park in the middle of children's play, family reunions, whatever, and just march through it with their armed vehicles. I just think that it's a reminder that in the United States of America, we don't need military or people who have been trained to be killers to be in our streets. This is just outrageous. Another thing this administration is dead wrong on and needs to stop. The last thing is positive, Daryl. Shout out of love and appreciation to Savannah Garza Valdez and Maria Paula Zarates. If you haven't heard these two names, it's a shame because these are sheroes. They are Mexican, and because we think of their nationality and that they're 19 years old, that somehow nobody's been talking about these great sheroes who saved 20 girls during the Texas floods. Listen. Thank you for their courage. Thank you for their determination to help humanity. We are so proud of them, so grateful for them. Right, Daryl?
Oh, absolutely, Barbara. These two, they're 19 years old, Barbara. They're
right.
Teenagers, right?
19.
They're 19 years old.
Unbelievable.
And they didn't panic when they saw the floodwaters coming. And they were able to, work, and they were working as counselors at Camp Mystic, which is, where everything here occurred.
Right.
That was the focus of what occurred, and they were able to save these 20 young girls and lead them to higher ground. It's just an incredible feat and a showing of love and selflessness by those two teenagers that really does need to be lifted up. And similarly, Barbara, we want to be certain that we're certainly extending our prayers, our thoughts. And everything, and our condolences for all the victims of the flooding that occurred in Texas, particularly Camp Mystic, because there are a lot of young kids that lost their lives, and a lot of parents that are going to be just broken as a result of it. So we want to be certain that we do extend our heartfelt condolences to all those that have been impacted in any way by it.
Absolutely, and thank you, Daryl. So we have a show for you today, folks. We want to let you know that we are talking about lessons lessons from the legacy of John Lewis. That's right, the good troublemaker himself. We're talking about the lessons that we learned from him, what the budget bill means for Black America. What would John Lewis say about that budget bill? What would John Lewis have done about that budget bill? What would John Lewis be trying to make sure every American knows about that budget bill? We want to be good troublemakers in the tradition of John Lewis, and we're going to talk about how we do that in response to this budget bill and what it means for Black America. We're also going to talk about the AAPF summer camp, advancing the ongoing fight against racial fascism. That's what it's called, people, racial fascism. There's a long history of it in our country, and we're going to talk with Dr. Kaye Whitehead about that, and we can't wait. And then, Daryl, I'm just so happy that we're going to start our show talking with one of the most amazing young people that's out there. She, in response to this call for people to, this call of action for people to become involved in the John Lewis July 17th National Day of Action, this Good Trouble Lives On mass mobilization, she responded and said, I'm going to host my own event. Oh, yes, I love when young people just get out there. She's a Transformative Justice Coalition alumni. She's hosting the John Lewis National Day of Action 2025 event in Miami, Florida at the Roots Bookstore and Market. Welcome, Eboni James Charles. Hi, Eboni.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, everyone.
Oh, it's so good to have you on the show. Thank you so much. We also are welcoming to our show Dr. Karsonya Kaye Whitehead, who has been on our show before. She is, of course, the president of the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, ASALH, and she's immediate past president of the National Women's Studies Association. She's executive director of the Carson Institute for Race, Peace, and Social Justice, professor, Communication for African American Studies, Loyola University, Maryland, and she's a host of the Today with Dr. Kaye show on WEAA 88.9 FM. Thank you and welcome, Dr. Kaye. Welcome back to Igniting Change. Okay. She may not have joined us yet. We will see. I also, Daryl, you want to introduce Dr. Karen McRae?
Oh, sure, Barbara. You know, she might as well be the third host on this show because she's on so much. But I tell you, it's so great. It is so great to hear the insights and information and knowledge that Dr. Karen McRae, who is the president and CEO of the Concerned Black Men of America, brings. She's also a member of the board of the Transformative Justice Coalition. Welcome back on board, Dr. McRae.
It's my pleasure to be here. My voice is a little hoarse, but I'm still good. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm betting on that horse. My goodness, if you're right, if it's with you, I'm betting on it.
Exactly. We don't stop. We don't stop.
All right now. I am just. Okay. So Dr. Kaye has joined us. Thank you, Dr. Kaye. Welcome to Igniting Change. We're so glad you're here.
I am so excited to be here with Barbara Arnwine to talk about the future and how the future is going to be our redemption here.
All right now. That's the spirit we got to have. You got it. That's the spirit. That's one of the lessons we learned from John Lewis, right? That is a lesson that he taught all of us. He said, what did he say, Daryl? If you see something wrong,
that's
say
right.
something.
You got to stand up and say something.
You got to stand up.
That's right.
And make good trouble. Make good trouble.
That's right. all the good trouble that you can. I mean, it's just important to not be silent in times of trouble. He said, get in good trouble, necessary trouble.
Get in good trouble.
And help redeem the soul of America. So with that said, why don't we get into, our questions that we have for you, our mighty guest.